Hey, it's Kat here, and I'm here to do my last May book haul. And you know how my last video is like, oh, I'm gonna really control my book buying. My thrift store had like a book sale where you can get every book for 25 cents, and things went crazy. So, let's get started. So, the first two books I got were actually ones I already have, but I had them in mass paperback, and I didn't want that. And plus, I like these covers more because they're more adorable, and that is Red Wall and Mossflower by Brian Jacques, if he's French. I don't know if he is. And so, yeah, this is what they look like. So this is technically the first book, and this is technically the prequel. And apparently it's like a 16-book series about little mice who fight. And if that's not adorable, I don't know what is. So, yeah. And the next book I got is, The Fire Eternal by Christy Lancey, and this is like the fourth book in his series or something. And then I got the fifth book, Fire World, and I didn't know that. I was just like, I really want to collect this series about dragons. They have cool eyes and whatever. And I have book 1 and 2 over there from another thrift store escapade. So whatever, guys. And alright, everything's heavy. The next book I got is Transparent Things by Vladimir Novitka. And it looks like this, and it's a really short novella. I'm not quite sure what it's about, but I read Lolita a long time ago and really enjoyed it. As much as you can enjoy Lolita. It's kind of like saying you really enjoy War and Peace, even though it's just about gold. So, yeah. I read the first page, and he sounds already pretentious and everything I love about Vladimir, so I just love his writing. I love how he is. He's hilarious to me. The next few books I got is by the same author, which is Stephen Pressfield, and this is The Gates of Fire. So it looks like so, and The Virtues of War, which is an Alexander the Great novel, and then Tides of War. And this isn't part of a series; these are all standalone historical fiction novels, I believe. So yeah, except I think this one's about gods. Oops. My bad. No, wait, no. Historical fiction. Okay, Socrates is in it. That has to be cool, right? The next book I got was when I went to vacation to Bulgaria. They had this like little book thing, and they had Warm Bodies in it, and I really liked the movie Warm Bodies. And if you don't know what it's about, it's basically about this zombie guy who is cognitive and falls in love with a girl, and his name is R, and it's an adorable, cute little movie, and he like eats this her boyfriend's brain. I don't know, that's in the movie. I'm not quite sure if it's in the book. And yeah, it sounds cute and adorable. It sounds great. The next book I got is The Two Princesses of Bamara by Gail Carson Levine. And this is the same girl who did Ella Enchanted, and she did this book, which is my very first fantasy novel when I was a kid. So yeah, and I found it in the original edition I had when I was a child, but I had to get rid of the one I had when I was a kid because I read it so often. And yeah, it's about these two princesses. One falls deathly ill by the Grey Death, and the other princess, who is a coward and not very brave, she decides to find a cure for her sister. And there's wizards and a few dragons, and it's all around a good time. I love this book. I haven't read Ella Enchanted, but I can tell you I like this book more. Okay? It was my first introduction to fantasy, and it was so good, and I used to read a lot of nonfiction back then, but now I'm like, this brought me into my world of dragons. Gotta love that world of dragons! The next book I got is Wool by Hugh Howey. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what it's about, but a lot of people recommend it to me. And plus, it was a pretty good edition. So, it's all nice, shiny. Ooh, it's hardcover. Ooh. I'm pretty sure it's like a dystopian thing. Rick Riordan likes it. Ernest Cline likes it. That has to be something, right? Yeah, like toxic landscape, sheriff, crime. Basically, your dystopian novel. Yeah, I'm great at synopsises. I don't know what you're talking about. The next book I got is Revival by Stephen King, which is about a priest trying to restore his faith in God-ish with a nomadic rock star who's hooked on heroin. I'm not quite sure what this book's about, but I like the cover. And I don't know why I always collect Stephen King novels. I haven't liked one up to date, but I keep freaking hoping, man. I keep hoping. And in fact, I'm gonna try to start this thing, or at least read one Stephen King book a month until I find the book I like, because it has to happen by this point. This guy is too prolific. Yeah, it has to happen. Same with James Patterson. I actually like some James Patterson books, not all of them, but it's like a numbers game. You have to at least like one of them by this point. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Speaking of keeping going with the Stephen King books, I got the 4 early novels by Richard Bachman, who is Stephen King, and it's Rage, The Long Walk, Road Work, and The Running Man. And yeah, so I got this now. So it has to happen. So starting June, I'm going to actually read one Stephen King novel a month. It's going to happen. Next few books I got is by David Deglish, and it's the Dance of Cloaks series, and I have the book 1, and then book 2, which is A Dance of Blades, and then book 5, A Dance of Ghosts, because that's the one they had, and whatever. And this is about like the world's greatest assassin, and if that doesn't intrigue you, I don't know what will. Because look at this cover, man. Look at him. He's flying through the air. What is this, Mistborn? I don't know, but he's flying. It's sexy. I don't know if he thinks he's Batman or something, but you know what? He can do him. It's fine. Yeah. And then the next book I got is Halfway to the Grave by Ginny Frost, and this is a vampire, not really, is it a romance novel? Paranormal romance. And I've heard okay things about it. I don't know. I need to really actually finish the Patricia Briggs series, or at least catch up on it, and I haven't because I suck. But, yeah, Halfway to the Grave. Let's start a new paranormal romance series. I like vampires. I actually do like the vampire ones where they fall in love. I don't know why. I'm weird. Okay, and the next book I got is A View from the Cheap Seats by Neil Gaiman. This has one of the few Neil Gaiman books I haven't read yet, which is odd. And I remember I got halfway through and then stopped for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's because I wanted my own copy. I sometimes do that. Like, when I check out Neil Gaiman's books, I'm like, why don't I just buy it? I know I'm going to reread it 1,000 times. It's me. But, yeah. So, yeah, this is his nonfiction essays talking about writing and talking about art and talking about Neil Gaiman weird stuff. I don't know. And the next book I got is a book I've already read, but I really want my own copy, and that is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. And I love this book. It's beautiful. Everybody should read it. Oh, I love this book. Plus it's all floppy, which I really like. It makes me satisfied. It makes me feel powerful. But yeah, in case you didn't know what this book's about, it's blah, 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 blah. In case you didn't know what this book is about, it's about this guy who gets kidnapped by aliens ever since he was 13. Like, he keeps getting abducted and being sent back. And then a year, and then he's like 16 or 17, and then he has to deal with his like boyfriend who committed suicide last year. And then his grandma having Alzheimer's, and his mom like trying to drink herself to death, even though that's what it says in the plot, but she really doesn't. And then his boyfriend getting his girlfriend pregnant. I mean, his brother getting his girlfriend pregnant. He has to deal with that. And it's just about how and then the aliens are like giving him a choice to either push this button to destroy the world, or push this button to save the world, or not push the button to destroy the world. And it's all up to him to try to find the meaning of life and if we deserve to live. And it's really, really good. And Diego Villega is like, man, and I hate that he's gay. Actually, he's like, it doesn't really say that. Like, Diego Villega. I even like saying his name. It's adorable. Plus, Henry in general, like the main guy, is funny and sarcastic. Really brings my heart joy. I love it. Anyway, the next book I got is actually one I regret buying because I also bought it at full price because I don't know. And that is Love Interest by Carl Dietrich. And it looks like so. And it's about a group, I guess an organization that sets up people to hit on a girl. Why did I buy this book? But one of them is like the rebel, and one of them is like the sweet, innocent jock boy. And instead of falling in love with the girl and getting the girl to fall in love with one of them, they actually fall in love with each other. And now they have to go on the run from the organization because now they have to die. And I don't know why I bought this. Why did I buy this? I don't even know if I'm going to read it, but whatever. It's here. Awesome. I'm excited. And the last, but certainly not least, book, and my favorite book of all time, is Dune by Frank Herbert. And I got the freaking, what's it called? Penguin Galaxy edition. And it has an introduction by Neil Gaiman, which I've already read, and I adore this book. It's actually not my favorite in the series. My favorite in the series is Children of Dune, even though it's really creepy and there's this really weird, like, Leto being 7 and trying to hit on this, like, 28-year-old. But you know what? I still liked it because it made sense. Just gotta read Children of Dune. Everything I'm saying sounds weird, but read Children of Dune. But I love Dune. I love Neil Gaiman, and they just kind of almost meshed it together, and I'm so happy because of it. And it's huge, and it smells nice. It looks good. I like these simple covers. I don't like to mess around with my covers, except if they're fantasy, because then I want it to look like terribleness. But yes. Yes. It's beautiful. And I'm probably going to reread this book, and I really don't need this on my plate, because I have a lot of stuff that I need to get to, and this is one of them. So, yay!